Hello guys, welcome to my new series of the channel. We're gonna be playing Crusader Kings 3. For the ones that know the game, it's a wonderful game, one of my favorites. And it's in the... if you position yourself on the human history timeline, we already started the Imperator Rome, which goes from 300 before Christ to, we will be playing it until the year 860, 67 to be more precise. And this game is the one that is next on the timeline. It goes from the year 167 all the way to the year 1300 and something. That's when Europa Universalis 4 begins. So we will be playing this wonderful game, like the one that we are playing with Imperator Rome. This is gonna be also a beginner-friendly series. I don't consider myself an expert on this game. I haven't been playing this game for that long. I have played a lot of times, but none of them was like mid-late game. So we will do this for the first time together. So I hope everyone and everything goes great and we have a great experience. We will be playing as Count Hermenexildo Gutierrez. That's from the Count of Santiago, which is part of the Kingdom of Asturias, or was part of the Kingdom of Asturias back then. And this is a very interesting character. I didn't want to play as a king, since I want to, go all the way from Count to Emperor. So hopefully we will be able to unite the Iberian Peninsula, and who knows, maybe even expand further than that. I would be very interested to set foot in, I don't know, maybe more to the east. But we'll see. We'll see where life takes us, and not us, but our dynasty, the Menéndez house. So we will try to make the Menéndez house a very well-known house, even a legend, making use of one of the, the legend DLCs. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we are starting at 867, playing as Count Hermenegildo Gutierrez from the House Menéndez. And he's a powerful vassal to King Adalfonso III, which is the king of Asturias. Hermenegildo controls the lands of southern Galicia with an unsullied administration. An unquestionable loyalty towards his monarch has helped him expand the ancestral dominion of his family. But is that enough? With the growing interest in the south, will you be able to conquer the lands of Portugal and start one of its most influential dynasties? Well, we will definitely try to. So I think we are ready to start. Oh, by the way, I'm playing with the Rise mod, which is actually very good. I was interested in finding a mod that has that keeps the vanilla experience of the game, but also it adds more flavor and historical accuracy, which is something that I really like. The style of play is gonna be like a role play kind of thing, but not too much. And like I always like to play, and that's the same I mentioned with the Imperator Rome series. When I mean roleplay in the sense of actually being very, very aware of that we are playing as a character that is running the destiny of, well, at the beginning, in this case, of a count. So we will try to avoid any gamey or, tricks or, very small things that actually simplify or oversimplify things. So we'll try to keep it as realistic as possible. So let's start to play as Count Hermenexildo. We are married and we have a son, Arias. So let's check it out. And this is how everything starts. This first episode, I'm gonna try to keep it, 35 minutes or so, not more than that. And we will try to get everything ready to unpause on the next episode, as I usually like to do. So, yes, this is how everything starts. The Iberian Struggle. We begin the game in the middle of a huge conflict. In the Iberian Peninsula, we have the Catholic kingdoms and counts on the north, but on the south, and actually in most of the peninsula by this time of history, this moment of history, we have a lot of Muslim presence. So actually the Catholics are trying to reconquer, that's why they call the Reconquista, reconquer the peninsula for the Catholics, mainly Spain and Portugal. So we will try to do that. So this is what we start with. The Iberian Struggle, which is the Iberian Peninsula is in turmoil, a conflict born of its storied past. Outsiders covet the land, and the great Muslim and Christian powers seek to sway its people. But those who live and die on its soil will ultimately determine its fate. I will not let slip my vision for my homeland. By God, House Menéndez will weather the storm and see my will fulfilled. So we are one of the involved participants in the Iberian Struggle, and since we are involved, and you can read this, we will have special effects, war effects, so we can fabricate claims, spending prestige instead of gold. We have unlocked the border raid, the military assistance interaction, and the bargain fealty interaction. And mercenaries cost 30% less. Culture effects. You can see all that it says here. It's basically, it's easier to interact from a cultural perspective, and also in terms of religion, for example, interfaith marriages are available between involved characters, and this is all because in the peninsula was kind of a mess back then. And we have other effects, what you see right here. So take hold of fate. Yes, that's what we will do. This is the Rise mod that I was mentioning before. I think it complements very well the basic game. So here we are the Count of Santiago, this county. And let's take a closer look at the county. Here we have two baronies, two counties, the Santiago County and the Tui County. Okay. We all belong to the Kingdom of Asturias. Okay? And actually here is the Kingdom of Asturias, here's Benavente, Monterrey, Astorga, Coruña, Castilla, Castile, and, well, the other counties, Salamanca, Ávila, Olmedo, well, everything you see around here. And we begin the game, we start the game at war. Well, not us, our liege, which is the King of Asturias. Our friend, by the way. We will take a look at that later. So, yes, this is where we are. And like I said, we have two counties, the county of Tui and the county of Santiago. And the county of Tui has 1, 2, 3 baronies. One, I think this is this is a castle. Yes, this is a castle. This is empty, and this is a bishopric. So this is Tui and Santiago. What do we have in Santiago? We have this one that is basically empty. This one that it's a temple, a bishopric, where the temples are. This is actually a castle, the capital, and the city of Betanzos, which is our vassal. We only have one vassal. We start the game with only one vassal. Let's take a look. This is our country. So the county of Santiago has a development level of 7, and the county of Tui has a development level of 5. So this is more underdeveloped, which makes sense. That's why the capital is over here, right? So yeah, this is where we are. We are next to Coruña, Astorga, and no, we are not bordering Monterrey, which is another county, but we are bordering Portugal, the county of Portugal. Okay, and actually the war that our liege, our king, is someone's claim on Portugal. And Portugal is this region. Okay, Portugal, Bragança, and Aveiro. These 3 counties. So this is why we are at war. Well, our kingdom is at war. There is a guy called Vimara, I think, Vimara, that has a claim. So our king is fighting the Al-Andalus for this territory. Okay. That's why I think if you see over here, you see that, yes, our kingdom, it's at war with Al-Andalus, these guys. So, yeah, we'll see how everything goes. So, first step, once we take a look of our surroundings and our main stats, we can start checking out these things. Okay, legends. We will eventually be able to actually start forming legend, which is the custodian of the Catholic holy site. Okay, so we have a holy site, which is Santiago. I think there is a cathedral or something. But yes, we own one of the. If we go here on the faiths map, we see that Santiago is a holy site. The nearest holy site for us would be Vaticano. So we are close to Vaticano, or well, not close, but this is the closest one, and Cologne and Canterbury. These four are the holy sites of the Catholic religion. Okay, so we own one, which is great for us. So what's the idea? The idea is to try to form the Galicia Duchy of Galicia, which will be, once we take control of Coruña, which is right now in the hands of our father, Gutiérrez Menéndez of Coruña, and Astorga, which is our father-in-law. The Count of Astorga is our father-in-law, and Monterrey. Okay, and eventually this, I think this is a duchy, probably. Yeah, I mean, well, the counties are called sheikdoms, I think. But yeah, they're part of what we will try to form, which is the Kingdom of Galicia, okay? Which is our culture, okay? Right here we take a look at the culture, the Galician culture, which is which is a divergence from the Visigothic back in the year 800, okay? We are now at 869. So it's a spiritual culture, okay? So this gives us these buffs. It's monthly piety plus 10%, control growth plus 15%, faith creation and reformation cost, it's cheaper, 20%, and minority vassal opinion from a different culture, it's minus 10. So yeah, we are a spiritual culture, which its main pillars are we have an Iberian heritage, okay? So this will give us plus 20 cultural acceptance baseline, with cultures sharing this Iberian heritage, which actually will have a couple, you know. Here, these counties are Galician, that's why the Duchy of Galicia, it's basically and almost these territories. Then we have the Asturleonese culture, which is Asturias and Leon. And then we have Castilian culture, which is actually Castile, and this is, I think it's Soria, and a couple more. The Basque culture and the Catalan culture, which is, you know, worldwide famous, like for example Barcelona and Valencia, two Catalan cities. And then we have Andalusian culture in the rest of the peninsula. So like you can see, most of the peninsula is in the hands of the Muslim culture, or yeah, the Andalusian in this case, because Muslim is more like a religion, I think. So yes, this is the cultural map. So we are fine. This is with these green lines because it's you know, the liege right now who owns this land. The culture is Mashriki. Okay, so it's not Galician, but hopefully soon we will take these territories back. We will see. We speak the Iberian Vulgar language. Okay, so with everyone that speaks this language, we have plus 10 cultural acceptance. We have Galician aesthetics, which is, you know, the architecture. The architecture is Iberian, fashion Iberian, coat of arms Iberian, military equipment Iberian, and naming practices Galician. Okay, and only men can be commanders and knights. So women are not allowed to command armies. Okay, and we have these 5 traditions, which is monastic communities. Okay, so the temperate trade is more common and give additional bonuses. Monks have also additional bonuses. And we have monasteries that can be built, okay, and that provide additional learning bonuses. So monastic communities, it's you know, this culture has a long history of sending noble progeny to serve the faith. Revered political thinkers often arise from the monastic orders. Okay, so it's a very important tradition in our culture. Highland warriors, we are, you know, very good in hills. Like you can see here, the rough terrain expert is more common. We have extra hill bonuses for commanders and personality traits. All Galician characters are safer in hills. And in hills we have additional supply limit and more levies, more soldiers. Which, if we go to the terrain map, it's interesting because we will be able to see what is our county made of, you know? Basically hills over here, we have mountains over here, but in our county is basically plains and hills. This is the type of terrain that we have inside our county, and the county of Santiago. And in the case of Coruña, they also have forest. They have plains, hills, but they also have forest. In Astorga, they are mostly mountains. Okay, so it's even worse than us. The same with Monterrey. Everything is mountains. And what we are going to try to capture are hills, mountains, and plains. But mostly hills, as you can see. Okay? So, yeah, this is why our culture is very good at hills. And dexterous fishermen, which give us, okay, since we are a coastal county, you know, coastal activities like fishermen are, you know, a tradition for us. We have a higher coastal advantage that is increased by 5, as you can see here. The supply capacity is increased 50%, and we are safer in coastal seas. Okay? Ritualized friendship, which, you know, we're a warm culture. We like to become friends with people. We make best friends, actually. May ask friends to become best friends. So we are a very warm culture. We like, you know, being among friends and making friends. We enjoy very much that. So that's one thing. And the last one is the Galician Portuguese lyric, which is basically, you know, poets of this culture typically use the Galician Portuguese variant of the Iberian Romance language when composing lyric poetry. Cantigas are the characteristic style of song amongst these poets. Okay? So what this implies for our characters, our Galician characters, is, you know, more diplomacy per level of devotion, +1, and a monthly learning lifestyle experience of +5%. Okay? So, yeah, this is our our tradition. And we are the culture head, which is not a small thing, you know. We are the culture head. This will allow us to, down the road, even make changes. And we are fascinated as the head of the culture. We can choose which fascination we have. We are currently working on public works. You know, innovation is like the tech trees in most of Paradox games, where they try to represent the technological advancements. And right now we are working on public works, which will give us development of Galician counties plus 0.1, which is very good. And most importantly, the effect that this will cause is basically counties now reach the maximum existing development penalty at 20. Okay, so we will be able to grow our development in our counties faster. We already have discovered the onager, or onager, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. We have the mods and the banners, which is a type of, this unlocks vassal contracts, actually. And I think we're okay. I don't know if you think differently, just let me know. But I think that it's okay to start with public works. Everything that helps to develop faster, I think it's okay. And we are in the tribal era, okay? We already reached this area. So, yeah, let's continue. In terms of religion, we are Catholics, and which, have these three tenets: the armed pilgrimages, which, it makes easier to participate or declare holy wars. That's the main thing, I think. And we have more gain or higher gain of glory for our accolades. We will see what that is in a few minutes. The communion, which makes honest a virtue of our characters, and makes deceitful a sin, okay? Which both of these have different effects, If it is a virtue, it has positive effect, and if it is a sin, then negative, as you can see over here. And monasticism. And monasticism, makes being temperate a virtue, and being gluttonous a sin. Okay. And sins in this religion is being lustful, being gluttonous, being deceitful, being sadistic, and being vengeful. And virtues are being chaste, being temperate, being honest, being compassionate, and being forgiving. So the main doctrines are male dominated, it's men are stronger and better equipped to lead us in this harsh and unforgiving world, so we should entrust them with governing our society. The righteous doctrines, which as mortals we cannot fully comprehend God's will, but our priests still have a pretty good idea of what is holy and what is profane. Theocratic doctrine, which only sanctioned priests can be entrusted with upholding our faith's doctrines, and by extension, with managing and caring for our sacred places. Encouraged, which gives us access to the pilgrimage activity, and an ecumenism that make other Christian faiths that have the ecumenism doctrine are considered astray instead of hostile. Okay. What is this? Is our religious leaders have historically been engaged in interfaith dialogues to increase cooperation amongst the different Christian denominations. Okay. And well, you can take a look at this, marriage doctrines, and so on and so on. And the head of faith is Pope Nicholas, who is in Roma. Okay, the Pope. Holy sites, like we've seen before, we have Jerusalem, Rome, Cologne, Santiago, and Canterbury. We have one of those already inside our county, which is great. So let's take a look at House Menéndez. What is House Menéndez? Hold fast is the motto. And we have 7 living members, which are our father, which is the Count of Coruña. We have 1, 2, 3 brothers, okay? Albito, Osorio, and actually 2 Osorios, by the way. Osorio Gutierrez and Osorio Gutierrez Menéndez. I think both of them are Osorio Gutierrez Menéndez. Yes, that's true. So yeah, we have 2 brothers called Osorio, weird, and we have 1 brother called Albito. And I think all of them are in Coruña. I am the only one in Santiago with my son. That's the we have a sister called Elvira, and we have a son, Arias, which is 1 year old. So he was just born. So this is our house. The plan here is to have more children and to expand the dynasty. So we make sure that the Menéndez dynasty lives forever. This is the dynasty tree, like you can see, 1, 2, 3 brothers, 1 sister, 1 son, and our father. This is what the Menéndez dynasty is about right now. And we are the head of the house, okay? We are 20 years old, okay? Like I mentioned before, we are married with Hermenexildo, who likes us actually, you know. And why does she likes us? Because, well, she's our wife. She's on the council because she is our wife, and she has a very good diplomacy and is brave. Okay. But she's from a different culture. She's, I think, Asturleonese. Yes, Asturleonese, because she comes from here, from Astorga. So that's why she likes us a little less. It's only 50% since both of us can speak the same language, you know, the Iberian Bulgar. So she's our wife. Let's take a look at our wife. Very good at diplomacy. We will take advantage of that. Because this, you know, she will increase our diplomacy. Right now she's cooperating with, +3. Okay, we have 13, but 3 are thanks to our wife. So she has a, you know, poor stewardship, but I mean, it's an 8. Not ideal, but it's not like the end of the world or anything. She's lazy, she's arrogant, she's compassionate, and she's an adequate bargainer. That's why she has a very high diplomacy. And yeah, I mean, I think we were gonna try to make the best out of her, and that would be probably getting all that diplomacy, because the diplomacy gives us higher monthly prestige increase. You know, right now with the 13 is plus 5%, but probably once we make her help us with just diplomacy, it's gonna be even higher. We have like a general opinion, positive opinion of plus 5 thanks to this diplomacy that we have right now, and increases the effectiveness of diplomacy schemes, and increases the initial legitimacy, which is something very important in this game. So that's our wife, okay? And like I said, we have a son who is Arias, or Arias. He's our heir, actually, too. Okay, very important. He is our heir. And, well, he's just born. One thing that I will do right away is to, well, actually two things, because we are almost at the end of this episode. So I think two things I want to do is, first of all, I always like to romance our wife. So we make sure that we have enough kids, you know? So, yeah, sorry, but first, I was forgetting something. Here we have an inventory, our inventory, and we have a notification over here. And one notification is that we have this artifact, Bells of Santiago. The illustrious Bells of Santiago de Compostela are a strong, simple, and above all loud reminder of the immutable spiritual authority of Saint James. Okay, this, once we are equipped with this, will give us more piety per month, more renown per month, and it will help with plus 10 with people from the same faith, with the opinion of people with the same faith. And, well, we don't have a court since we are not a king yet, but this will help with the grandeur of our court, plus 3. We also, on top of this plus 10 of the same faith, people of the same faith, we have Christian opinion of plus 10, okay? So it's a total of plus 20 opinion. So this is great. It's not very good for the Muslims, but I mean, we don't have too many Muslims. Actually, we're trying to fight them out of the Iberian Peninsula, so I think this is going to be very important. So now that we are wearing this, people like us more, okay? So now, before it was a 45, now it's a 62, okay? So she likes us even more. So let's try to romance her, okay? Hopefully it will be very easy, but we'll see. Yes, we will start a romance scheme against my wife. Hopefully she likes us more. Romance, declaration of love. The time has come to let my feelings towards Countess Hermenexildo be known. I want her to remember this day for the rest of her life. We can sing a love ballad. We can secretly plant a letter in her chambers, or write a love poem, or go with my gut in the moment. I will go for write a love poem. The candle is burning low when I finally finish my poem. Before I send it, I give it one last read. Your eyes are a bowl of porridge. I wish only to be by your side, that I may know through joy. You and I together is what makes the sun move in the sky. Whatever. The waiting is unbearable. The thought of rejection makes me sick to my stomach. When her reply arrives, I tear the seal with shaking hands. While I cannot encourage you, Count Hermenexildo, I am most grateful for your kind words. Yours faithfully, Hermenexildo. Ermesinda won't resist my charms for long. My scheme to romance Countess Ermesinda continues. Okay, let's see how we are. We have a 95 success chance, so 95% success chance. So I think we will be more than fine. So that's done. And the other thing I wanted to do is to actually start educating my son. And I am going to be the one. So he gains the similar traits like we have. So yeah, he will like us even more. Now it's a plus 100. So Arias Menéndez became our ward. Okay. So like I said, I'm gonna put a cat in here. I think we started very good. We went over, you know, the most important things at the beginning to learn to know our character and learn who we are. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please do. Happy and looking forward to read them. So, like I said, thank you very much and see you next time. Bye bye.